and gentlemen, and welcome to one more episode of IPL Insights. And we are here to present all the insights of the previous week. So, we have eight scintillating matches before us of the previous week. The first one that we are going to talk about is the Chennai Super Kings versus the Mumbai Indians that happened. And before that, I think introductions are due. We have been coming here every second week, but this is Sushrut Vinayak, and I'm joined by Raghav Swaminathan, my co-board member. So here we go, CSK versus Mumbai Indians. So what a dramatic match. CSK had defeated Mumbai in the very first match of the season. So it was anticipated, and CSK fans had their calculators out. They were trying to figure out how CSK could go into the playoffs, but Mumbai was a huge roadblock for them. CSK underwent a huge collapse, guys. 114 for 9. Literally, Trent bowled 4 wickets, and Mumbai chased it down with so much ease. That was the most beautiful part of the match, where Quinton de Kock and Ishan Kishan made it look as though it were a street cricket match with 68 runs contributed from Kishan's bat and de Kock contributing 46, running on his good form. So all in all, it was not the contest that we expected. It was something very different. The result was almost predictable after the first innings, um, and Chennai again suffered one more loss. Um, there were a lot of notable points to be taken here. The first one being Gaikwad was given a chance. Uh, he was dismissed for a duck. So again, MS Dhoni ji had commented that the young players lacked kind of spark, and this match did nothing but prove his point. And it was a total collapse of the team. There is no way to blame any single player. A total collapse by the batting, and the bowlers could not defend a meager total of 115. Mumbai were successful, and now we know that Mumbai, qualified into the playoffs too, but CSK suffered a huge roadblock on their way to the playoffs. Uh, and as we will duly notice, they were denied their berth this time, being the first time in 13 years when they played as a team. There were 2 years when they did not play. But going on to the next match, it was again one more scintillating one. Raghav, would you like to summarize the Kolkata Knight Riders versus the Delhi Capitals match for us?
Sure, Sushrut. So the Kolkata Knight Riders versus Delhi Capitals. It was once again another general match won by the Kolkata Knight Riders with KKR batting first. Of course, as usual, we all know the batting struggles that Kolkata has been facing throughout the season, which eventually continued. But again, apologies on that. Nitish Rana, he stepped up. He opened the innings with Shubman Gill, and he scored a really good 80 or 81 runs. He kept the innings going. And one surprising fact at this match was that Sunil Narayan was back to his form with a blistering 64 runs for probably having a 200 plus strike rate. That was an amazing match. That was an amazing innings to watch, and both of them held it together, and they eventually took KKR to a very good total of 190 odd runs, and that was amazing. But again, when we talk about the Delhi's batting over here, it was really disappointing. With Shikhar Dhawan with his back-to-back centuries and Ajinkya Rahane known to be a proven anchor, probably both of them were disappointing. And what Delhi lacked that KKR had was that KKR had Nitish Rana stay and anchor the innings well, which eventually Delhi lacked. Dhawan and Rahane went early, and Shreyas Iyer, somehow managed to lead from the front and tried to pull his strings, but eventually couldn't take it on for a long time, simply because he of course needs someone to help anchor or help take the innings forward. But eventually that went wrong, and Delhi couldn't really capitalize on that. And this match also saw really good bowling performances from Kolkata Knight Riders, especially Varun Chakravarti, the 5 wickets. One specific fact that I'd like to mention here is that he didn't try anything special or extraordinary. He kept it simple, kept it straight, and spun the ball well, which eventually got him 5 wickets. Which was one major point that helped KKR win and helped restrict Delhi to 130 runs. So that was a really commendable job by Varun Chakravarti, and of course Pat Cummins with his 3 wickets. There, that was also very commendable in this match.
Absolutely. I feel Varun Chakravarti's performance in that match might have given a heads up into his stepping into the, being one of the members who's going to fly to Australia. So that might have been one a very huge contributing reason because, as you said, that there was nothing too unusual about the bowling. It was regular stump to stump bowling, and he kept the length tight, and I think that paid off. When you strangle the batsmen for space, you obviously get a lot of good results. And Varun Chakravarti was obviously riding high on luck and talent on that day. And the first fifer of the IPL, that was really exciting because we saw centuries, but no fifer. So I was really concerned for the bowling, but Varun Chakravarti, amazing. And going to the next match, Kings 11 Punjab versus the Sunrisers Hyderabad. This was a very fascinating match for a lot of reasons. Kings 11 Punjab were desperate for a victory, and this match was very important for them, but they only ended up scoring 126. Puran scored 32. No other contributions. KL Rahul 27. No other support from none of the players. And everyone thought it was a lost cause. Sunrisers are good at chasing. They generally chase huge totals easily. And what was 127 for them? Very easy. But extraordinary bowling from Arshdeep Nath and Chris Jordan. 3 wickets each, and they plucked it out of Sunrisers' hands. Literally, man. No other comment for this match. They plucked it out of the Sunrisers' hands, and KXIP once again proved why they are forerunners in the tournament. I've been mentioning this from the first. Initially, they were unlucky. Initially, they lost a few matches because of you know various factors, losing out in the super over and whatnot. But now again, I feel the time has come back for KXIP, like how the time has gone away for the Delhi Capitals, losing 3 matches in a row after that fantastic run. That is disturbing, man, for a team. And when the playoffs are so near, you expect your team to perform much better. On the other hand, Kingsland Punjab, calm, composed, till the last moment. I feel KL Rahul did an amazing job as a captain. Cool and calm. I felt like I was watching 2007 T20 World Cup with Dhoni behind the stumps again. I wouldn't go as far as comparing their statures because looking at where Mahendra Singh Dhoni is today, the player he is and the captain he is, how much he contributed to the team, I wouldn't go as far as comparing them. But I felt there was a vibe in KL Rahul that the same kind of vibe I saw in MS Dhoni in 2007. Being cool and calm behind the stumps, give the bowlers instructions, allow them to execute. Don't pester them and pressurize them. But again, I feel every captain has their own technique. So going to the next match
That's
again, yeah, Raghav, you
yeah,
I
that
think you need to take this. The people in green.
of course. Red to green, green to red. That's something they do every season. But of course, the Royal Challengers Bangalore versus the Chennai Super Kings. Chennai Super Kings won this match. Why? Simple reason is they restructured the team. They finally accepted that talent and the team proposition and composition over experience matters. Mahendra Singh Dhoni finally probably has accepted the fact that he needs to bring in the youngsters. And even though the comment of youngsters not having spark might have proven him right in the Mumbai Indians match, it was Guruturaj Gaikwad who eventually scored 65 to 70 odd runs and saved CSK on that match. And we all need to accept the fact that even though CSK has been a team with all the experienced players and they have cricketing experience, on-field experience, it is time for youngsters. Youngsters across every single team are stepping up and they're playing their game. So eventually, Ruturaj Gaikwad proved the same. So when we started to come to the first innings where CSK bowled, CSK had really really economical bowlers with Sam Curran picking 3 wickets and then Santner's amazing. Uh, 4 overs for probably 5.75 5.25 economy, and then so Imran Tahir and Jadeja and Deepak Chahar. Surprisingly, Monu Kumar was played his first game for CSK. Even though he was pretty expensive, I feel it was a good start for him, and it was a good platform to show the world that yes, he is a good bowler too. So probably in the matches coming forward, he'll be able to prove himself better. RCB went off to an amazing start. I mean, Aaron Finch and Padikkal, they played good cricket, but I guess even though De Villiers and Kohli put up a good show, the last 2 to 3 overs was a havoc for RCB. They weren't able to convert those overs into big scores. Eventually, with the last 3 to 4 batsmen who played, ending up with single digits, and they weren't able to convert it, and probably that's why they were restricted to 145. And I guess excellent bowling performance from CSK. And still, there were a lot of people, a lot of us who believed that that was still a good total for RCB and they still could come back, but it was all proven wrong when Gaikwad and Ambati Raidu and Faf du Plessis as well, not to forget him. Three of them came and they played really good cricket. They stole the show completely and they proved that CSK is still a good team and the current team itself has good potential. So probably what I feel we all could take away from this match is that if the CSK team management could have incorporated such a strategy with a perfect mix of youngsters and experienced players according to their talents, 3 to 4 matches in advance, then maybe CSK could have shown potential or could have tried to at least qualify for the playoffs. Unfortunately, they didn't, but at least this is a good learning experience for the next season, probably to change their tactics and their game strategy.
Absolutely, this match will be a morale booster for CSK, absolutely, because they have won absolutely well. Chasing 146, they only lost 2 wickets. They were guided well. They did not look strangled for one. They did not look desperate. They won it comfortably. They looked like they had come back, as you said. So it was really good for all the people with the yellow jerseys on their bodies. That should have been a great feeling. Going to the next match, this was again one of the most fascinating matches, I would say. Mumbai versus Rajasthan. Mumbai posted 190, 195, and the notable contributor here was Hardik Pandya and Surya Kumar Yadav. Obviously, Hardik Pandya's 60 came off 21 balls. Man, that was. It looked as if Hardik Pandya had come back from 2017 or 2018 when he used to smash the balls out of the park. So I really hope his injury is healing well. He's getting better at the nets, and now again, he kept looking at his bat after every shot. And when asked in the commentary at the post-match presentation, he told that he was trying to understand whether he was giving more force or whether it was timing. So he wanted to see where the bat hit the ball. So I think that is a really good development for a player for who is really strong. If you can combine force and technique, that's a deadly combination. We all know how much Jack Lesser is appreciated in today's world, and that is because of his immense power and technique. So if Hardik Pandya can build on his technique, obviously he has the strength. We all know he has the strength, but if he can build upon his technique, maybe India is seeing its next best all-rounder. Who knows? And Raghav, I know I'm talking about the Mumbai matches, but I want you to talk about this Surya Kumar Yadav. Man. There has been a lot of speculation around him not making it to the team, and even in the match against RCB, he went and stared at Kohli. Kohli stared back, and they made it look as though it was a huge banter. But I feel it was not. It was not much of a verbal abuse, just looking at each other. And again, the meme creators blew it up. So, what is your opinion on the Surya Kumar Yadav, Virat Kohli, BCCI love triangle that we're talking
So sure, we need to acknowledge that cricket is a game. We all call it a gentleman's game, but when we take sports, there's always fights. There are always controversies. They're all a part and parcel of the game, and then that's something we need to accept and move on. So I guess probably that's what Surya Kumar Yadav did. He was majestic in accepting the tiff that happened between him and Kohli, even though a lot of people feel that it was a little unprofessional from Kohli, being at his stage and being a captain for the Indian team, but probably it's all in the heat of the moment. It happens between cricketers. End of the day, we're all a part of a country that cherishes cricket and enjoys cricket for the game it is. As far as Surya Kumar Yadav's selection goes, I feel Surya Kumar Yadav has played very good cricket, excellent cricket over the last few years. He's supported KKR as well when he played for KKR and now Mumbai Indians. But what we all need to understand is that there is something called a team combination. when we take the Indian team, for example, one down and two down is usually taken by in T20s. It's taken by Virat Kohli and Shreyas Iyer because they have been assigned that role to go there and play an anchor role if they're required to, and probably at the same time they also have the potential to finish it off if at all they're required to, probably in the later stages. So it somewhat and because of this reason, Sanju Samson, if at all played in the Indian team, is forced to go at three down, four down, and five down when in reality is actually a good player at one or two down. So it all depends on the role you can play, what kind of a contribution you can give to the team. Surya Kumar Yadav has played excellent cricket, but unfortunately, I don't think he has a role in the team because there are other players who can cater his role. So probably if he continues playing such good cricket in the future, maybe he can gain a spot. But until someone either doesn't perform for a string of matches or if someone's injured, I don't think it makes logical sense changing the winning combination or a team combination because at the end of the day it's about the team morale. So if you change one player, the entire team strategy, the statistics that are given to the strategies to be implemented in a specific match, the entire formation changes, so that affects the team morale. So I feel Surya Kumar Yadav just needs to keep shining and performing, and he will eventually find his place in the Indian team. But we as fans and analysts and enthusiasts of the game forcing the selector's hand by making comments or memes or whatever for making including his selection doesn't seem fair because end of the day, as much as we know cricket, the selectors know more, and for every decision that's made there is always a lot of thought and consideration that goes through. So all we need to do is we need to respect the decision and we need to predict as to what kind of moves were made and what were the calls behind it. So I guess Surya Kumar Yadav end of the day just needs to keep performing well and he'll find his way through.
Absolutely, absolutely. The point about his role is very significant because we all have seen and experienced Kedar Jadhav not having a role in CSK team, and we know how devastating that was for CSK. Kedar Jadhav is individually an amazing player. No one can deny that he has not got talent. He has played vital knocks for India for CSK in the past, but not having a particular role to to play in the team, that was I think what caused his absolution from the team. Everyone thought he was a waste. So looking at such a good talent, and as you said, if he does not go on two or three down, he'll have to be forced to go four down or five down. And I don't know whether Surya Kumar Yadav will be able to immediately play the explosive role as good as other players are doing it right now. And that will only end up with everyone looking at Surya Kumar Yadav and saying maybe he's not the big shot that we thought he was. But the reality being, he has not provided the role he is good at playing. So, I just wanted to talk about the small part where Rajasthan Royals won against Mumbai Indians because of one man. And that one man is Benjamin Andrew Stokes. He has been the reason for pulling various teams uh, across the line. We have seen his absolutely wonderful performance in the World Cup against Australia in the Ashes. He is a man capable of doing anything. And I think Stokes holds a unique record of being the only player who has scored two centuries while chasing. One of it came for the Rising Pune Super Giants, and this came as a part of Rajasthan Royals. So, stepping into the next match, of course, Kolkata Knight Riders versus Kingsland Punjab. So, what do you think went right for KXIP? What do you think went wrong for KKR?
KKR, as I repeated in the KKR, as I've always mentioned, the Kolkata Knight Riders batting. So this time it was not Rana, but it was Gill and Morgan who played really good innings. They kept it going, but again, see when you're one down, two down, and three down, when these positions are not able, if at least one among the three are not able to hold and play that anchor innings for you, and they go for low scores, then that ends up being a burden for the death eventually for your middle order batsmen, for the ones who come down at four down, five down, and six down. It's a burden from them because they need to come early in the innings, anchor the innings, and finish it, which becomes a massive responsibility. And I don't think KKR were able to capitalize. I mean, like they weren't able to capitalize on the quality players they have, eventually settling for a pretty mediocre score. And of course, even though KKR bowled well in this game, I feel when you have the universal boss Chris Gale and KL Rahul and Mandeep Singh, of course. When you have such quality players, I don't think any score is sufficient. These guys play amazing cricket. So I guess KKR bowled pretty average in this match. They weren't bad. They weren't really good either. But I feel that the amazing batting performances from Gale and Mandeep Singh in specific took KXIP home and won the game for them. And one more thing I'd like to mention over here is that we've all been talking about KL Rahul's captaincy. Of course, as you've mentioned as well, the positive vibes he gives as a captain, comparing him to the 2007 MS Dhoni, who was calm and let players play their role and play their natural game. I also feel that Chris Gale's inclusion in the team has been a really good morale booster for them, because Chris Gale, he's a serious cricketer, but then we all know how jovial he is outside the field, and how he brings the team together and his friendly nature. We all know that. So I feel Chris Gale's inclusion in the team, not just in his role in the department of batting by scoring runs, but I feel he's bringing the team together and bringing in that positive vibes, which eventually makes gets the players together and perform as a team, which helps them eventually end of the day. So I feel, as mentioned, even though Punjab weren't really great due to the luck factors that a lot of us talk about in the first half of the tournament, they are eventually catching up, and all the teams need to be scared of them, because if Punjab makes it to the playoffs, I feel they have a really good chance to qualify this time.
Absolutely. So perfect. Gale's role is undeniable in the team. I think his inclusion also reduced the pressure on KL Rahul too, and he was able to think even more cool and calm. He is cool and calm naturally, but Gale helped him out in that situation. Going to the next match, I think it's pretty one-sided, man. We expected a contest which was like David Goliath, a match of the equals, but we got a one-sided contest again. 219 and Vridhiman Saha, never expected him to score that well, but it was almost a 200 strike rate, 87. And Warner always says special on his birthday. So he scored a century last time. I thought he would go for a century this time. He tried, he went for 66. And Manish Pandey, obviously, he suited his role perfectly, 44. And no complaints, absolutely no complaints about Sunrisers. They bowled amazingly well. Rashid Khan, pick of the bowlers, 4 overs, 7 runs, 3 wickets. Brilliant. I think that's the most economic spell of this IPL for Rashid Khan. He was absolutely fantastic. And Delhi Capitals only scored 131. No big surprise there. There was a huge collapse in the top of the order. No one stayed. Dhawan, I think, was dismissed for a duck. Rahane couldn't play for a long time. Shreyas Iyer tried his best. I didn't get the idea behind Shreyas Iyer playing down the line, but I think they might have tried out some strategy and it backfired on them. Nothing to blame on them. Uh, but all in all, it was a very bad match for the Delhi Capitals. Hope they come back stronger in the next match. We know they have the potential. So, Raghav, let's go to the last match of our discussion: RCB versus MI. So, what do you have to say about that match?
So sure, as we spoke like probably 10 minutes ago about how the tiff between Virat Kohli and Surya Kumar Yadav heated up the things not just on the field but off the field among us enthusiasts and fans. But speaking from a more technical perspective and leaving out the heat and the tiff moments and all that, I feel when RCB started, Joshua Phillip and Devdutt Padikkal, TDP, of course, as we popularly know him, they scored 75 or 76 odd runs in probably 7 overs or 8 overs. That was an amazing start. Like you two youngsters, two young blood players playing so good, giving RCB a good start. I feel RCB eventually failed to capitalize on this opportunity that they got, be it Virat Kohli, be it AB de Villiers, or the players who followed after that. All of them, they failed to capitalize. It was a very good start. RCB could have easily gone to 180 or 190 odd runs in their 20 overs, but eventually were limited to a very average total. And of course, the bowling performance by Bumrah, 3.5 economy, and he took around 3 wickets if I'm not wrong. That one bowling performance changed the whole game for RCB and eventually brought them to a very average total when they could have easily capitalized and gone for a higher total over there. And Mumbai as well. I don't think Mumbai had a really good start with Decock and Ishan Kishan. it was a very average start, if you'd ask me, the power play especially. But then Surya Kumar Yadav entered, he showed his class. He has been doing that for a very long time. As I mentioned, for Kolkata Knight Riders, he's been a backbone for them. Came to Mumbai and he's been continuing that role for long now. And this match also, he proved his worth with that 70 odd runs. And the Pandya brothers, Krunal Pandya and Hardik Pandya, even though they were there for a very short duration, they supported him in his innings well, and they played that anchor role. They played the responsible role. I feel, at least for that short duration, those 10 balls and 15 balls that Krunal and Hardik played, they supported him well, and eventually Surya Kumar Yadav won the match for Mumbai Indians. He and I'd like to go out of this match and mention that Nitish Rana. Both of them are players who are immense potential for India, and probably they should be getting a chance, even though it seems very unlikely for them to make it to the squad anytime soon. But I'm in strong hope that at some point in time their talent will be recognized, and they will. And if as long as they keep putting in hard work for the days to come, for the remaining cricket career, if they keep working hard, I feel at some point in time they will make it to the Indian team.
Definitely, I have no doubt regarding that, Raghav. Someday they will be wearing the blue, not the Mumbai blue, but the Indian blue, of course. So they will be playing for India soon. I have a lot of hope on them. And one more fact for our viewers: uh, Jasprit Bumrah's first wicket was Virat Kohli, and his 100th wicket was again, guess who? No points for guessing, Virat Kohli. So that was very special for Jasprit Bumrah. He achieved 100 wickets in a short span, very very quick time, and in the IPL, his first and 100th wicket being the legend would have surely given him something to smile about. So I hope this was a very entertaining session, informative session. We will come back to you again next week with more interesting, fascinating things to talk about. And this is Sushrut Vinayak along with Raghav signing off.